Welcome back. Now, did you know that South Africans are ranked third most likely to fall for online scams? And that is according to Microsoft in the Global Tech Support Scam Research Report. The report also found that millennials and Gen Z are the most affected groups in this regard. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by Ashleigh Fenwick, who is a communications lead at Microsoft South Africa. Thanks for coming through, Ashleigh.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Sakina.
I must say, I was surprised by that information, but talk to us about the report. How was it compiled and how did it come that we rank so highly amongst those who get scammed?
This is the second time we've done the report. First time was in 2016. We've done it across 16 countries, surveying about 16,000 people. Balance of male and female, but in terms of age demographics, we've been proportional to the internet users in the countries we've surveyed. I think the most interesting thing for me and the most important thing for me is, yes, the Gen Zs and the millennials are being caught the most, but since 2016, we've had a 6-point reduction in tech scams happening, and very importantly, we've gone from 8% of people actually paying over money to 4%, which is a drastic reduction in the number of people being caught by them.
But I must say, I was still surprised that it was the millennials and the Gen Zs, given that one would expect them to be a lot more savvy when it comes to these things.
I think savviness gives confidence, and so they're more likely to engage in riskier behavior online and take those risks, which is what the fraudsters are looking for.
And we said South Africa ranks third. Who ranks first and second?
I think it's China and Brazil were very high, 1 and 2. Their rates have also reduced, so globally we've seen a reduction in the amount of fraud and also the people being caught by fraud. And I think this is due to education and people being more aware.
And then, of course, some more information, 18 to 37-year-olds most likely to be scammed. And you'd think it would be the baby boomers or, other generations. What's going on there?
Again, I think when you engage and you're tech savvy, you're more likely to go to sites where you're going to engage in riskier behavior, as we call it, which means that you will get caught. The fraudsters are getting more savvy. They're aware that people are aware of the scams. So they're getting more savvy with what they're doing, which means people are getting caught.
And if one thinks back, towards the elementary stages, people were getting conned through emails that were sent asking you for your details so that money could be deposited, etc., etc. Is that still very common?
So you've got 4 types of scams. The most common in South Africa is the telephone tech scam, where somebody phones you, they purport to be from one of the top tech companies, and they say you've got a problem with your computer and convince you to hand over control. The other 3 are email, pop-up ads, and then websites, where they redirect you to a website. The telephone one, as I said, is the most prominent in South Africa. Email still happens, but I think we are building in filters where you can stop unsolicited email coming into your inbox.
And in terms of monetary value, how much, are South Africans losing through these scams?
Most people don't actually report value. So, cybercrime as a whole, we're looking at billions of rands being lost every year. We see 4%, you're probably looking on average that people are losing between 1,000, 1,500 every time they get scammed. Can be more. So it is still a serious problem.
And the other area, Ashleigh, where we're seeing quite a bit of evolution is, of course, online shopping.
Yes.
So are there many, scams perpetrated in that way as well?
They do happen. We haven't looked at that in detail in this survey in particular. It does happen, but again, the basic tenets are the reality. Make sure you're buying from a trusted source. You're giving your information across to a trusted source.
But these days, everything looks so authentic. People are able to really come up with good fake. So how do you go about distinguishing, whether something is actually legit or not?
The first is, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're not sure, you'll normally find a phone number, research it, do some background, look at the URL. What does the URL say? Does it look legitimate? You know, if it looks like a slightly funny URL, don't engage. Phone.
So what would a funny URL, for example, look like?
If you take, for example, if it comes from Microsoft, you would see at Microsoft.com. If you're seeing at onlinesupport.yahoo or .wherever, somebody's set that up. It's not a legitimate corporate mail that you're getting.
So it's all about just being vigilant and doing due diligence at the end of the day.
Yes.
All right. Ashleigh, very interesting. Thank you so much for coming through and talking to us about this particular report. But of course, we need to talk about it a little bit more. And go figure, millennials and Gen Zs leading the pack here. I need to have that conversation with my kiddies. But of course, let's take a quick break and we'll say goodbye on the other side of that.